Hello.
Another wonderful sunny day here in St. Louis.
Mm.
Hey, Ryan. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, you know, life among or during a global viral pandemic that seems to be getting worse, not better. You know, I'm full of it. Whatever it is this morning. I mean, in 3 minutes or less, what's your take, Ryan, Trevor, if you're willing to share on what's going on in the world right now? Anything in particular?
Well, it's just kind of all around bad. Climate is in a bad place, etc.
I hear you.
I went back to work a couple weeks ago, and I completely understand why it's so bad.
And what does work for you?
I work at the zoo, so I see people from everywhere, and it's amazing how many people don't know how to wear a mask.
Yeah, a week or so ago, I made an appointment for my kiddos to go get their flu vaccine, which means they have to go to the pediatrician's office, which is out at St. Luke's in Chesterfield. And it's weird. They have to wear their little, I don't know, Galaxy Milky Way face coverings, which in and of itself is challenging because they're 3. But I'm hesitant to even bring them into a hospital setting,
Mr. Bergeron, sorry, this is kind of not related to what we were talking about, but were the corrections for the summative assessment 3 due today? Okay, good, because they were in the gradebook as missing. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it's a placeholder.
Okay, got it.
But for the love of dog, get your flu vaccine. Please. No excuses. Drag your parents if they are your ride. Drag any adult. Find a stranger. I don't care.
Can you get a flu vaccine without your parents' permission?
That's a great question. I don't know. It's dependent on the provider, the insurance company, all of those sorts of things. I mean, these are free, so it's not like you'd even need to bring any money with you. I don't know. That's why I said drag an adult. Stranger, drag me. I'll go with you. Not really, but I'll pretend. I'll write you a note.
If you are a ward of the court or not a dependent of your parents, you don't need permission because you have autonomy over your body. But if you are a parent's dependent and you're on their insurance and not on Medicaid, you cannot get a vaccine without their permission.
Look at that.
What are we talking about?
Oh, sorry. We were discussing the plight of the world. And I simply said in passing that please, 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 for the love of dog, get your flu vaccine. And Ryan was providing some information about what you can and can't do as a minor or as an emancipated minor in respect to your rights in terms of getting a vaccine on your own. I mean, please, you got 2 weeks until this expected return to in-person learning. Get your flu vaccine. Well, good morning, everybody who's popping in while we're having a I'm making a spirited plea to get your darn vaccinations. Thanks for joining the Pear Deck slides here. We'll get started here in just a second. I think we've got just about everybody. Welcome. Good afternoon. It's nice to see your faces. Ben, I like the lights. My stepdaughter has lights too. Do yours change colors? Alrighty. So obviously not a lot of time together today. So my hope is as we get started that our check-in is a slightly different form. I have a 5-question survey that I'm using to really guide our work in terms of future efforts in respect to social emotional learning and beginning to implement and integrate mindfulness strategies into our time together, whatever that time looks like in the future. So my hope is that you'd be willing to take a very short survey. In a moment, I'll give you access to the slides so that you can click on that link directly. It's really short. It's totally anonymous, like all of our other SEL check-ins. I'm just trying to get a sense of where you are right now in terms of your present moment awareness and your emotional awareness of things that are going on in the world. So it's very short, and if you want to do that, that would be great. And then really for the rest of the time together, I want to give you a choice. I noticed this morning that there were some people who didn't have a chance to watch the pollination video. It's about 7 minutes long. You could use the time that we have together this morning or this afternoon to do that. But I also wanted to honor the request that people had on Thursday about some more chi-square practice problems. So you can either go right to the practice problems from the homework, I think it's homework number 18 using that link, or you can go to any of the other chi-square problems that you may not have had a chance to look at during class on Thursday. And I wanted to make myself available to support you as you're working on those questions as well. If by chance, though, you don't need any extra practice with chi-square problems and you've had a chance to do the homework for today, you could certainly get a jump start on what we'll be doing tomorrow, which is a deeper dive into some data that illustrates a relationship between two species and how those two species are behaving together to influence a particular outcome, that outcome, not surprisingly, being pollination. So that's what we're going to be going tomorrow. So again, you have, if you want to do the survey, that's awesome. I will put the slides into student mode so that you can click on the link. If not, I encourage you to either work on some chi-square practice problems with me kind of in the background. You can ask whatever questions you have along the way, or you can watch the video or begin what we're going to be starting in class tomorrow. What questions do you have for me before you get started? Well, I'm here to support you, especially if you get stuck on a chi-square problem. There's lots of different types of chi-square problems that you can look at. So please let me know if I can help. I'll bring everyone together in about 13 minutes or so, just so we can do our exit slip. But other than that, this time is here for you to work and practice and get more better. Thank you to those who are completing the survey.
right. So the question was, it was like the first free response one.
Mhm.
And it was like, how I answered it was, I said like, because it was the describe one outcome that would demonstrate like that a given population has evolved. And I said we would see the population of like the CIT plus growing more rapidly and see CIT negative like grow either significantly slower, or if they're unable to produce any citrate, they would like die off.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of confused like how that's wrong and doesn't show the evolution.
I don't know that it's wrong per se. I think it's just not a complete thought.
Okay.
Like if the population is growing, if it's getting bigger, that certainly could be part of like the equation, if you will,
Mhm.
of the population evolving. But in that unit, we were spending a lot of time thinking about this concept of Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, right? And that being kind of a set point where the population is not evolving, and
Mhm.
then calculating allele frequencies and genotype frequencies, and even setting the stage in a way where if you were to assume initially that a population was at equilibrium and did all of your calculations so that you had your allele frequencies, and you came back at some later time point and did that work again, recalculated the allele frequencies, if those frequencies had changed, that would be evidence for evolutionary change. That would go
Okay.
above and beyond just like the population or even a part of the population getting bigger, but would indicate fundamentally that the genetic makeup of that population had changed over time.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
One thing we didn't get a chance to do last time, right, was to use the koi fish pond simulation to change a variable and then investigate whether or not that change in the variable led to a statistically significant disruption in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So that might be a good place to practice if you're interested. But of course, there's other ways that you can practice. There is a straight up animal behavior practice problem from a released AP exam in there. There's also some multiple choice questions that you can take a look at. But we'll come back together here in about 5 minutes. I am monitoring the chat. You can take yourself off mute, ask questions. But if you're getting stuck, you don't have to just sit there and be stuck. Remember, if you're looking for an answer to the multiple choice questions, you can find them in the notes. In this case, you could actually look either to the Unit 4 or the Unit 5 notes. I just copied the slides for the purposes of simplicity today. But the multiple choice answers are all there, and I'm hoping you're finding the scoring guides for the other questions. If you choose the koi fish simulation, your answers may vary. But I'm happy to take a look at your work if that would be helpful to you. All right, try to find a spot where you can wrap up with the understanding that you can always come back to this if you need some more practice. So before you go, if you would be ever so kind, whoops, what questions do you still have about anything or everything that we've done over these last few days? If you could just take a moment and add your question or your thinking or your response to this text box, that would be helpful for me. And as soon as you've added your response, you're welcome to sign off. We'll see everybody again tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chat. Oh, yeah, doesn't matter. That's fine.
Oh, this isn't I mean this is just the question I put in the pear deck, but are we able to is it too late to submit late assignments?
Well, I tried to communicate with everybody last week that the book on first quarter
Yeah.
close at 3 p.m. on Friday. I mean,
Okay.
really now it's a matter of if you were to submit something and let me know that you did, it's kind of a race to the clock.
Okay.
So I don't want to say no, but I want to offer a caveat that I literally may not have time to
Yeah.
accept your work before the counseling department collects it because I just lost the weekend.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Hi, Sarah. Where'd that puppy go? Is it over here? It must be over there. Yep, it's over there. Okay, I'll close those. Do that in a second. All right. Everything looks good over there. That was loud. But people are waiting till the last minute. Hello, everyone. Logging into those Pear Deck slides so quickly. I wonder how teachers do this who don't have two monitors going. I feel like I need 3 monitors. Well, welcome everybody. Another beautiful day here in St. Louis, Missouri. The sun is shining. It's unseasonably warm. Who wants to go swimming? All right. I think we have just about everybody. You'll want the Pear Deck slides for today. In fact, really, this is given a short period of time today. I'm going to give you a choice in respect to what you'd like to do with the time that you have today. Hopefully, if I can support you, I'm available to support you as you are working. All right. So you may have actually been surveyed to death at this point. So I hope this is not one more survey in an unending list of surveys that you've completed. But I'm starting to notice that distraction, that present moment awareness, that emotional awareness are areas of growth for a lot of, well, human beings. And I wanted to just begin to quantify that with a very short survey. It's 5 questions long. And my hope is if you are willing to complete the survey, like all of our SEL check-ins, it's completely anonymous. This one literally so. I cannot see your responses. That we can begin to use some of the data that comes out of this survey to take whatever time we have together in the future, in whatever form that time looks like, to begin to deal with some of the social emotional issues that I think both, well, heck, me and maybe you too are facing in these really challenging times. So if you're willing, in a moment, I'll give you access to all the slides, and you can click on that link directly. It'll take you to the survey. Again, it's only 5 questions. For the rest of the time that we have together this afternoon, I wanted to give you a choice. A lot of people said on Friday that they wanted some more practice with the chi-square test. So there are links on the agenda slide that will take you to some additional practice problems. If though, some people did say this as well, you're feeling pretty good about the chi-square test, but you didn't have a chance to watch the video for today. It's only about 7 minutes long. You could use the time today to do that. Or if you're interested, you could begin what we're going to be starting in class tomorrow. It's a deep data dive, kind of the term that I'm using at least, to describe an interaction between 2 species, how these 2 species are behaving together and how they influence each other over the course of time. So we've been focusing on how one species impacts another, sorry, how one species interacts in their environment. This next step is to begin to think about how two species are interacting together and how they influence each other over the course of time. So lots of choices. I will give you control over the slides so you can pick what is best for you. I will bring everyone back together in about 15 minutes to do our exit slip. But if you're willing, I would encourage you to start with that brief survey. If not, that's okay. Choose where you'd like to spend your time today. And if I can support you, chat, take yourself off mute, send a remind text, send an email. It doesn't matter how you communicate with me, but I'm here to help. You don't have to sit there and get frustrated. Any questions for me before we get started? Maybe you already started. And all your faces are gone. It's okay. If anybody is even remotely interested, all these responses, if you're doing the survey, I am analyzing the data statistically. So if you want to see what I'm doing, all the stuff that we talk about, I actually use it. It's pretty amazing how your responses are indeed statistically significant. Overwhelmingly so, in fact. we didn't get a chance to set up that koi fish simulation with a variable that you could actually manipulate. We kind of did it under control conditions, but that might be a good place to practice. A reminder that if you're looking for answers to the multiple choice questions, you can find them in the notes. In this case, either the Unit 4 or the Unit 5 notes will work. I just copied the slides, the relevant slides from Unit 4 into Unit 5 on chi-square tests. And then, of course, the other questions have scoring guides associated with them. Lots of different ways to practice. All right, I want to honor the whopping 2 minutes that we have left. Thank you if you completed the survey. I really appreciate that. But before you go, if you could, take out of student mode here for a second. I asked you last time if you wanted some more practice with the chi-square test. I'm hoping you took this time to get that practice, but what questions do you still have? If you could choose where we go next to, Wednesday, where would you like to begin? If you can just add your answer. Once you've done so, you are welcome to sign off, and I will see you in a couple of days.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Be well.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that it? Is everybody gone?